staying with their Game 1 bans, going back to kind of what allowed EnVy to win the game. We'll see. Final ban here would be that Gragas.
So good. How do you know these things?
And then it would be Caitlyn, but I don't know if
I think
they continue to ban that.
That'd be the Caitlyn. We hardly... Well, I guess it was Lulu banned out last time, but the Caitlyn also found herself on the ban list.
Well, you could always split it up, too.
Or you could ban a Jace.
Yep.
How
That's
about that? Jace to the face. What's our first pick going to be here? And it is the Lulu. Something we kind of just said was a factor of Team EnVy staying alive in these Cloud9 aggressive moments of Game 1.
Yeah, so they'll have the Lulu for themselves. Cloud9 can now take the Caitlyn if they're so inclined. Don't know if that's really something that Sneaky wants to play, though. I feel like the Ezreal is a better fit for him, even the Jhin. The Nautilus, though, that premier tank top laner with Camille and Rumble being banned away by Cloud9, definitely makes sense going over to Impact. He's been that frontliner for the team.
Karma. Could be a pretty crazy Juggernaut composition with Shen up, Cog up, but obviously Kate's there. So that's not taken by Cloud9. It will be picked up by Apollo, obviously, but the Ninja is also there on Shen.
Untouched this game. That's going to be for Seraph. It's going to be that Shen, which has been untouched in this matchup, where it has not been picked or banned. It is a very high priority champion in a lot of people's minds. And with the Nautilus already showing and the Karma already showing, they're saying it's safe to pick it because there's no chance that that Nautilus goes support and then it's like a Gangplank top or something like that. So this is going to be a tank top laner that will be able to help out on that Caitlyn when he's aggressive. I want to see what Ninja plays, though.
Also have to think with this Maw coming back in, it means the AD carry does have to perform, so this puts a little bit of pressure on Apollo throughout this game. And the team, obviously, to keep him alive. You can always just ping question mark if that doesn't work. Ezreal locked in. Oh, pretty harassy bot lane to start off with. Sneaky and Smoothie should be very comfortable here in the early game.
Yep. Gives them a little bit of wave push, but also the Ezreal, great champion currently in the meta with the Fervor of Battle.
Syndra ban, Talon ban.
Yeah, picking away at each other's mid lanes here. Ahri might be another ban that comes out. Because Ahri plus Shen is a good delivery system if you are going offensive. Cloud9 may want it themselves, though, but I assume that they're going to last pick their... Yeah, I was like, I assume they're going to last pick their mid laner, so you don't pinch mid lane too hard, and you just go for another jungler here. You take your jungler as your second round pick for Cloud9.
One final ban, 15 seconds on the side of Team EnVy before we see what Cloud9 starts off our second phase with. And Nidalee was taken away from LirA, a little too powerful for their liking in his pathing, and then engages in the Ahri, like you said, taken away from Jensen.
And this will be most likely a Lee Sin or Elise here. Kha'Zix's still on the table as well. If they're going for a hyper carry, then they would go Lee Sin and have some type of peel. If Jensen's going to play something a little bit not as hyper carry-y, I would say that, okay, so Lee Sin makes sense. It's what you would expect here, because you don't want to have another jungler that has disengage on Team EnVy's side. If they have the Lee Sin, then how are you reaching the Caitlyn? You have to get through the Lulu. You have to get through the Lee Sin kick. You have to get through everything. So this actually, yeah, I like that. I like having the tank there. Another tank. So this composition is not going to be about LirA in the jungle, most likely. It's going to be about Apollo on this Caitlyn. He has to step up, and I like that Cassiopeia pick. That's a great takeaway. I feel like you would really want a Cassiopeia on Cloud9's side at this point. But he'll play the Orianna into it as the counter matchup.
It will be nice. You have Lee Sin diving in, Impact coming in. You can get that petrifying gaze out to counter engage, and you basically have a fight to set up with taunt and the rest of your abilities. Always easier said than done, because if Jensen hits a shockwave, that's completely turned around. You have an immobile mid, and you're looking to protect the ADC. 56 seconds here as the teams get the last bit of time. Switch their skins and summoner spells, but also take that last pivotal information from the coach. as a reminder what to do in the early game and what to keep going. It's the small things in Game 3 you can forget about, Zirene.
Very true. Make sure that, you know, something doesn't happen that's happened before. What type of strategy are they going to go for in the first 15 minutes? Because Cloud9 were able to slow the game down with vision. Team Envy weren't able to get off the ground and then tried to have an invade that didn't go their way. We'll see what happens. They have a bit of a winning bottom lane here. It will take some time for it to turn on because the Karma wave clear is pretty good. But putting the game in the hands of Apollo, he's a consistent player, but I've talked about it before. He doesn't have that clutch X factor just yet. He hasn't been able to show that on the stage. So putting a lot behind him, maybe this gives him the courage to step up and be that AD carry that flashes forward, that nets forward, that finishes those kills, and actually has proper positioning in an aggressive sense.
Hashtag Envy win, hashtag Scene9 win. Can Envy play spoiler here towards the end of the split on Cloud9? C9 would be 11-5 after this matchup, tied with P1 in the standings if Envy can win this Game 3. C9 looking strong out of Game 2 and aren't too bad at carrying that momentum. So Envy with their backs against the wall here look to take the victory.
Cloud9 want to stay in that second place spot. And Envy, they're still looking to get out of relegation zone.
Gates are open. Champions are off and running. So it could be safe, as we said, just farm wave clearing by Sneaky and Smoothie in the bot lane. We'll have to keep an eye on LirA and Hakuho. Once again, it's a little bit different for Apollo. Still safe farming on the Caitlyn, but not as much as he had on the Zig. So they may not get as much of that roam potential with LirA and Hakuho this game.
Now we'll see what happens with that combo of LirA and Hakuho. LirA with the Courage of the Colossus, so no funky mastery here. He was actually the first person I had seen go Fervor of Battle in North America on Rek'Sai during the beginning of the split when he first came over here. And it turned out quite good when Courage of the Colossus had just taken a nerf immediately afterwards. But it looks like he's going back to Courage, trying to get that shield for the team, being that second tank. And that frontliner.
Minions have spawned.
Be the first to do Fervor Rek'Sai, though.
In North America, at least. I believe it was quite popular in Korea.
Pings on the backside. Obviously, once they see the top laners head out, it'll be quite easy to figure out what the starts were, if not already considered to be the same thing.
Poison. And the pickup there. Some auto attacks, too, so you can tell that leash definitely a bit rehearsed. Is Impact going to give him another hit on that? Nope. So it's just not as good of a leash on these Raptors here with Lee Sin. Also took one away. So Impact took one for the road, so he'll hit level 2 in that top lane. Actually 1 CS earlier than normal. It's actually pretty amazing how much experience are in each one of those little Raptors.
Little changes make a difference. I don't think he's going to get much out of it. But he may be able to grab a bit of health advantage in the lane when it happens.
One more minion and Impact will hit level 2, which is the unexpected one.
Clean and tie it up. 2 and 2. Nice interplane. Soul Flare, I should say. Getting the secondary damage in is basically Hakuho and Smoothie fighting right now. Apollo and Sneaky are like, all right, we'll farm. No worries.
LirA puts down a ward to spot the Lee Sin, goes for the Gromp. Contractz does not check his Gromp, which is pretty standard. You don't usually do that anyway. There's going to be a Gromp takeaway, and that is outside of the bush. He also smited, so LirA doesn't have a smite to steal it. Going for damage.
Nice Prey Seeker.
But
obviously had him.
Letting it leash.
Didn't hide. He's like, what Prey Seeker? I didn't feel that.
Yep.
Good call up here from Hakuho. They had actually just pushed that wave back, so the timing works out great for Envy here to have a little bit more support in the jungle from their bot lane. Come out nice and clean. No way. That'll be awesome for bot lane. Smoothie and Sneaky are going to eat a lot of Glitterland.
Dude, come on. Like, that's all right. I mean, we're talking about Hakuho LirA combo. That's more friendship than I've ever seen in the NALCS. I don't know. Like, you just gave him the blue buff as a support. It's like, Hakuho, you go do God's work. Go out there.
We will see if he can get that done.
He's a Rek'Sai, he doesn't exactly need it, but that's still incredibly generous because that's experience and a tempo advantage that you get. Now, though, Jensen's going to come over here, help Contractz out. But I feel like everybody's going to be in attendance here. Go for the E. Up. So he loses his own blue buff.
You said you may have had pressure on bot side, but Impact has pressure on that top side, keeping Seraph pushed in with the Riptide. So good little trade. However, we have to see how this one pays off, because it makes the laning phase much more interesting. Definitely not making C9 hesitate at all. They want to show that, okay, you have a blue, we're not going to play any differently.
Got to keep shoving up Apollo.
Yeah.
Doing a good job here. I like the Warlord's Bloodlust more and more the more that I play around with it. Because that extra burst of movement speed feels like you usually get it when you walk up to attack and then walk back. So it feels like you've just gone for that last hit, and like the last hit gave you a burst of movement speed. It's actually really interesting. Scales up incredibly well to 50% lifesteal, and on a Caitlyn, if you crit with a headshot, even non-headshot late game, on a minion or something, that's a big chunk, like 400 HP back.
Yeah.
That's how you continue to siege and stay in the game.
Very nice dodge. Mantra'd Soul Flare.
Gotta get those names right.
It was a good push by Impact. Tried to find Seraph just a little bit behind the turret. He had a long back, though. Walked all the way down to second tier. Teleports into lane, and she does a nice job at cleaning up these minions. Won't fall too far behind. Mid lane 43 to 43.
Wait, what was that? What was that?
And Impact cancels. He did TP, though.
Yeah. It didn't really show on the minimap because I think he TP'd onto a ward that was expiring. So the ward actually goes out as he's going. So his TP would continue, but it just doesn't show on the minimap. So juked me there a little bit, but he cancels it. And they didn't want it.
Easy walk back to lane. He's waiting on a cannon wave to push up here, but very interesting. 2 teleports down, though, or I should say 1 on each side there in the top, so nothing to worry about until level 6 comes up for Seraph. Contractz finding LirA.
Yeah, and the level 6 did just come out for him.
Yeah, good timing.
Right on the money, Riv.
Whoa!
Wait.
That's
nice! Nice!
really great return kill, but you're always a little baffled, especially as an Orianna player, when you hit a ball move that is max range on the other side and you have that travel across the screen. Usually you miss everything that happens there, so Jensen squeaking that one in, catching Ninja off guard, and then the follow-up.
Yeah, this is all the way from downtown, comes across Shockwave, and then just the pickup kill. I like Contractz, but the dip back, the only option there for survival from Ninja is to use this Petrifying Gaze before the Q goes and try to keep him under turret. Covers that option by looking away, and then goes in, but gets flashed on and killed and picked up by LirA. So the jungler's picking up kills for themselves.
Hit the dragon! Hit the dragon! Should have made dragon angry.
That dragon knockback can sometimes really mess you up.
Probably could have got over the wall eventually with this tunnel. Still got to have a little fun when he can. Impact and Seraph. A little shield on shield action.
My least favorite.
What's that?
Shield on shield.
No damage.
No damage. It's actually no damage. Like, the counterplay to shields is usually hold your abilities, but the shield lasts so long for Nautilus.
Oh, it really does.
That the counterplay, it's not the counterplay. It's not the actual counterplay. You just got to break it.
And by the time it falls off, he's basically got it again.
It's a long duration. You got to have enough damage to go through that thing. And then he builds tanky, so it's harder to remove, etc., etc. That's not even in. Is that in the bush? No, that's not. That wasn't in the bush. Okay, I went back and looked. It was not.
I was gonna say no, but sometimes it squeaks out with a blade of
I
grass.
was like, there's no way that's in the bush.
True shot barrage here by Sneaky. He's saying, do not let this minion wave that close. We're a little low. With Envy being right behind it.
Nice hook.
Very nice hook. Spirit's Refuge actually has to be flashed out of. he would have had to spend too much time there to block the autos. So they get a little aggression towards top.
Yeah, making sure that Contractz doesn't get a kick flash on him and kick him backwards. So burning the flash preemptively.
Teleport up for impact now as that was used. That's going to be mismatched by Seraph, but Stand United is still there.
Okay, is it time? Does the second blue buff go to Hakuho as well?
They are pushed up, but this kind of just means that if they're that pushed up onto the turret, I feel like they'd walk back and help. Blue, great turn, great hit. Heal coming out of Ninja. Barrier and heal for him for the past few games, and it has kept him alive in the situations necessary.
Gonna heal a little bit off of these poisoned up minions. Just gotta watch out.
Oh, the pullback. Command protect, usually not what you see kill somebody with an auto. Jensen's gonna find two more, 2v3 as the TP comes in. And we're gonna see if Impact can make it work here. Seraph's gonna get knocked up. One more attack towards him. Should be an auto from Contractz to finish that off. LirA gets the wild growth. Should be big enough to deny any more of the fight. Passive of Impact locks a few more down. Bot lane has stayed true as they continue to farm off. A little action in mid.
Yeah, this is what you trade off when you don't go Fervor and when you also don't go for an early Tiamat on Rek'Sai. Went for the Cinder Hulk build. LirA is going full tank, but that Tiamat would have really helped him out, would have really sealed the deal there on killing Jensen, and possibly even picking up another kill, because it's a lot of damage early, but he's trying to be a tank for Apollo later in the game. He's got to put some attention on the bottom side of the map.
Good slow, quick Q, and they're out to safety.
Mystery solved. He did not give the blue buff over to Hakuho the second time.
Right.
That's the thing. When they don't make good use of that blue buff first time, never again.
It's not our fault.
Yeah.
You didn't come gank. We'll see this mid lane again. Ninja just being, I mean, he used the heal there.
Ugh.
And then he just says, you don't have enough mana to do a spell reel, and he did.
He still has flash as well. Yeah, you can see barely any damage coming through there. And then they have to peel off. Ultimate from Impact comes through after the teleport. And Hakuho a little bit faster on the roam. This turret, might go down quite soon for Envy.
They're going to see Contractz coming around this backside, so may play a little baity. See if C9 pulls himself in and says, yeah, the turret's going to fall. Might see Contractz and Jensen, who are on the roam, come up right out of the woodwork. They'll find LirA first, though.
Exactly. It's just here to kind of cover this area, make sure this turret doesn't go down. But you can't stay here forever, so you have to kind of get something in a swift move and then go back. Mid lane will be pushed in by Ninja. Jensen, though, in the counter matchup, doing well for himself. CS advantage.
Yeah.
But it's not enough to make up for that CS advantage down bottom. 20 up at the moment. Top lane roam.
Depth charge in about 15 seconds.
Ninja's like,
Ooh, flashes over the anchor chain. Make sure that does not hit. LirA with the rush towards mid lane, and he'll be able to help protect a little bit.
Yeah, this is why that Orianna is a counter matchup for the Cassiopeia. She's ever on the back foot. This is what happens.
The second turn Jensen has had on the Petrifying Gaze, he cannot get the lockdown. It's still going to be LirA. Perseverance paying off in the fight as now he's in a 2v3 situation. Took one out already. And now facing what would be a 3v2 as his team has numbers up. He flashed in for the kill, but still trying to get his team the aggression, trying to continue to help Ninja, who has found a lot of pressure from C9.
Yeah, down bottom though, this is going to be solo gold for Apollo. Solo gold for Apollo. Solo gold for Apollo.
Just waiting for it to deny more minions.
Look at that. Up 1,200.
Good math. Look at that. Quick numbers.
Yep, he's almost the whole gold advantage.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's great. They haven't had much attention down bottom. It's been the supports roaming every now and then, but the Caitlyn that was banned away, not banned this game by Cloud9, and now Apollo picks it up. They're trying to run an Apollo composition. He has that lane advantage, so step number 1 complete. Step number 2, the Caitlyn needs to start going to these other lanes and getting those turrets down. But you have to wait for item spikes to do so. Has the Runaan's Hurricane, and now they'll set up around the Drake, get that as the prize down bottom, and hopefully, for Envy's sake, nothing happens drastically on the other sides of the map. Seraph with the early Tiamat to wave clear too, so he's going to push up. This might be the disaster.
Whoa-blam! Death charge up, kicked back. And Taunt's back in as he goes down. Doesn't even really get to call out any summoners as it was a 1-2-3 punch for C9. They'll continue to pressure top side. LirA now working himself around the map, trying to be at the right place at the right time. His duty is now to the top lane. Clear that out and make sure they can keep their turrets up. That first blood turret for Envy is definitely a switch from last game as well. Cloud9 was already on the move with a few before Envy picked up their first.
Yeah. And this top lane, Impact, have a little story about him. Because he loves doing this where he sits in brush and fakes backs or just stands there for a very long time. And I was talking to some teams about scrims, and since Cloud9 was splitting time between Ray and Impact, and on the tournament realm that everybody scrims on, they'd constantly change their name. You don't have any friends, so they can track you, etc. So like literally, like the lobby will be like a random name of a Cloud9 member, and that's the top laner. So you don't know if it's Ray or Impact playing, but people will be like, oh, that's Impact. As soon as he does the move where he sits in the middle bush in top lane, and he waits for you to pass him
single tell
for like a minute. Because that's what Impact will do, and it's just like what happened in that top side. Seraph assumed that he had backed, and he stayed in the bush in that top side for so long. It's like a standard move that we're seeing more and more now from top laners in the NALCS. Well, but a lot of that is coming from Impact kind of cheesing people for a lot of the year in scripts.
Well, now if there's any question, it is Impact playing today.
Yeah, it is. You can see him on stage. He has the right name. He has everything.
It all checks out. Looks like Envy using a little bit of this window here. They have nice vision placed around Dragon. Pick themselves up to Cloud Drake. Go ahead and move back down to the bot lane. They have not swapped what Apollo and Hakuho are doing down here. Seems like they're happy with clearing the waves, though.
As soon as you get the Drake, there's nothing on the bottom side to fight for, so you go top afterwards. So I assume after the next push, establish wave control, maybe go mid to help and stop this from going down, because now you can see right here, they shove that wave out. This mid turret is in danger of going down. Seraph's in a good spot on top, so just go ahead, rotate your Caitlyn mid, bring along your Lulu for the ride, and you start sieging.
Every time they have Shockwave Ninja, they have called LirA over with the Void Rush. It's basically just a 1 and a 2. They can make sure he is not getting around the map where they can't see him. So little things playing in favor of C9 as we see the Hakuho LirA combo start to move around.
You can see they even actually auto-attacked that ward enough times that they picked it up there. Hakuho was able to kill it. So right on the same page in terms of vision clearing, and they get to pair up and run around. And now that LirA has his Tracker's Knife, he's down to put some wards all across. None for Hakuho in the Sightstone right now either. Look at that. Ah! There! It was Impact the whole time!
I wondered who was in the brush, but I knew immediately.
Definitely not Ray.
So they will now start to play a little safe. See a control ward going down right next to them. There we go. Do you see it? He doesn't want it.
Yeah, they're like, if I clear this, that's 4 seconds that I'm not backing, and I've already started, so oh well, we'll come back for it.
It'll be the TP Impact takes to ace them at Baron. And then you know. Well, I guess that's 3 minutes from now, so it's got to stay alive for a while.
Yep. And now you can see there's no threat of losing the bottom lane turret now for Envy, because C9 just has their bottom lane now in the top side, and they're going to push and pull against this turret. And you know, if history tells us anything about how that bottom lane turret went down with the Caitlyn and Lulu slowly pushing in, it might repeat itself in this top side.
Looks like they're going for the protection onto LirA. Seraph doesn't have the engage, but they are gaining control of a bit of map here from C9. Mostly wards, not finding too many of the kills, which will always give C9 the chance to kind of bite back here and maybe even pincer them.
Yeah, Seraph
is in the jungle.
Seraph has to go run down bottom and catch this wave, and you can see Contractz trying to stop him, actually just jumped on him.
Woo, that looks painful.
Yeah, and that's what you try to do is you catch him out en route after he messes up one of those globals, and now you run down and try to stop Impact from dealing damage to the turret and clear this wave out.
Hello. Pulling his sword back over.
Ridiculous amount of damage there underneath turret. It's got like 3/4 HP back on a caster minion or a melee minion. Still able to kill it. It's quite easy to last hit under turret with Shen. That's why him being pretty weak early on and not having wave clear isn't too much of an issue.
Yeah. Spirit's Refuge actually feels amazing when you're blocking autos. You think people are going to try to dive you. Really works well.
Yeah, it's
like that change over a shield.
It's interesting because it's like a team assisting ability where Shen support was being played pretty much right before Shen got reworked, and it was like, oh, does this work as a support still? Not really, and it's honestly hard to use the W ability, the Spirit's Refuge, the dodge zone correctly, because when you ulti somebody, what's your first instinct? It's not really to W as you're there, it's to E and taunt the person off of them. Because if you W, the person needs to stay on top of you to dodge damage, whereas if you E whoever's on them, the person gets to put distance between themselves and that person, whereas you throw down the W, they just have to stand there and kind of take it, but dodge it, and then eventually, so it's hard to use the W. Usually it's like, Shen's a diver, right? He's a diver slash peeler. It's kind of your oh crap button or I'm dying button.
It's like its perfect scenario is in the back fight if you were able to taunt the tank on your back line and then use it, right? Yeah,
it's so strange because Shen usually isn't in a position to do that because he's not like a midliner, right? Like imagine if like Tom Kench had that ability. Oh wait, that's a W. Oh, my bad. It's the same thing.
Nice trap set, not allowing Cloud9 to really have good footing in the lane by Envy towards the top. LirA also giving a little bit of chaos towards the middle portion of that top lane.
Yeah, and well, I was talking about how this matchup is just winning naturally, and it won the bottom side. It's just going to happen again on the top side. I like Envy doing this. It's slow burn.
Alley-oop. Knocks him up in the air.
Anger hit on that ward. That's Apollo. Yeah, so the picks will do a little bit of delayed damage there because it has that travel time. And so you'll draw turret aggro right after. LirA. Oh.
One more wave. Got a ways to go, but it looks like it won't even meet the wave coming in from the C9 side. They've been doing work towards this mid lane as Ninja farming it off from the side. Just getting pushed out horizontally. Sometimes the mid lane can be weird as C9 has to get pushed out. Envy drops down from the top side. Top is finally down. 0 turrets for Cloud9 here, but this can usually mean pretty crazy things. When Cloud9 do win a fight with things in the right position, they clean up quite a bit.
Yep, it's always about that fight. Look at that Ninja.
There's another turn from Jensen. Tries to get himself into a good spot. Stuck in the minions for a second. No mana here. This could be a scary fight as Blue charging him back up. Envy standing tall with 4 members, and here comes Apollo. Quick heal up onto Ninja. That was his own summoner heal. Flashes down though, so he has to be careful of his positioning.
Now, Apollo's finally here. He actually was not a part of that fight. It was a 4-on-5 at the very beginning when everybody finally showed up. Cloud Drake now on the table, and now you have to stop this wave clear in the mid. Cloud9 finally have a decent amount of wave clear with the Orianna. So these turrets are constantly under threat, and now that Apollo has the top and the bottom turrets, he can just kind of sit mid, go between objectives, and kind of play that late game, or I guess that mid-game Caitlyn pattern when you have the 2 outer turrets down.
We'll see this one more time. A bit of a push here from what was Contractz and Jensen in mid.
Yep, that back canceled there by Hakuho. The Shen ulti comes through. Then the wild growth after the flash. And Jensen's pretty much out of mana. He didn't get a kill, so he doesn't get an extra mana back from his Morellonomicon. He's got the blue buff, but it really wasn't enough to keep him in that fight, constantly throwing out Qs.
Leandri's finished for him on top of that Morello. Sork boots, as you would expect. And Ninja looks to be building that Seraph's Embrace up Morello as well into what will be likely that Abyssal Scepter. 23 minutes coming up on the clock. It looks like it will pay off here in the mid lane for C9 as they continue to put pressure in. Just about 23 minutes is their first turret. And big push by Apollo here on the top side. That's going to crash right into, nope, just before the turret. So lucky for C9 if they go to clean it.
Yeah, it's one of those crash points right outside, but it's a frustrating crash point because then it slow pushes back towards you, which is fine, but it doesn't really do it as fast as you'd like. You want it to bounce off that turret. You want it to actually, you want to deal a lot of damage to that wave and get it all the way to the turret. And that's why when some people are freezing underneath their tier 2, they'll stand a little bit outside of the turret range so the minions aren't taking turret shots. Envy, though, in a good position for this Drake.
I like it. I probably would have walked down that channel. I said, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, this is why we're not pros.
Very heady choice by Apollo to play the smart decision this I wouldn't say late in the game, but a kill right now on the AD carry would give Cloud9 way too much room to work with. And maybe even too much for Envy to find footing again. They keep it even. Cloud Drake going over.
Now let's talk about Seraph's build, because he went full Titanic Hydra before he completed any other full defensive item. He doesn't have armor besides the Ninja Tabi, and he doesn't have a Spirit Visage. He just had that Spectre's Cowl. So he kind of took over the Tiamat duties, the split pushing duties, the damage duties from LirA. It's kind of interesting.
I like it though. Are you surprised? It's Seraph.
Yeah, that's
The
very.
guy loves to play
true.
aggressive.
That's true. Seraph does love to play incredibly aggressive.
Well, looks like we'll see if he can put that to use. Right now, he's only been fending off Impact in the bot. Jensen pushing back up in mid. It doesn't actually look like Cloud9 is ready to push for too much either. They say, I'll keep tabs on Ninja. He won't be able to roam. It's really just been a Jensen Ninja lane with Contractz coming in to say, hey, Ninja, let's play. And then you see LirA Void rush over. So the rest of the side lanes have kind of been going over Cloud9's way.
Yep, and this top one is going to go their way too, because Contractz is up here. LirA is doing his jungle route, and that's just another turret that's given over. Don't like to say free, but that one is actually rather free. Cloud9 are right back in it. Envy, 2 Cloud Drakes. Next one is coming up the next time the Drake is up. And Jensen with the blue buff. Enough wave clear here to stop this.
Good try by Envy. They say quick move in mid. We see the majority top side will have to make a move. They just go a little farther away from those members and say the jungle is the safer route to take here. So Envy still keeping some things on the board and not just waiting for Cloud9 to make a mistake. This is really good to see. Blue over to Ninja. Seraph's breaks actually finished up for him, so the aggression he has been getting, he'll be able to stay on the map for a few more seconds.
Hitting that interesting point of the game for Envy, where they don't always know what to do. Cloud9, we just saw them get control of the river, go top, get that turret by having Contractz show, and now they get to push up. Like, this is further down the mid lane, of course, because the turret's down, than Envy has been all game, and Cloud9 were the ones who were just down in gold because they have better grouping. They're actually just kind of forcing down with superior numbers down these corridors. And they're going to get all of these control wards, etc. Contractz off on the side. Could get a kickback. Ooh, looking for a fight.
LirA goes straight over. Dissonance slows him down, but they still are able to get back on a Jensen. Double summoners from Jensen as he gets himself to a safe spot in the fight. Half mana to keep delivering the balls, the Dissonance, and the aggression forward. LirA under the turret, gonna keep tanking shots. Step charge back to Ninja. Contractz in the front of the fight is gonna go down for his team. We're gonna see him coming back though. GA pops for him, and now Hakuho, the dredge line coming in. It's gonna be the flash as he would have been hit. Putting yourself between the turret and the wall is a for sure lockdown. 3 members, I should say, down for Envy.
Yep, but we'll see what happens. This is a Caitlyn with an Ardent Sensor Lulu behind her. Full HP. Low HP on these guys, and he's actually just not gonna go. He's gonna stay over in the mid lane. That's gonna be a decent amount of damage to the turret, but I don't think it'll be enough to kill it. Somebody gonna show up here? Yeah, Impact's gonna try to be on turret duty. Yeah, he's got a lot of attack speed. I may have misspoke.
Oh. Should be all right. Puts the traps down. May not have enough. Oh my word, is he healing them with autos? Impact's so tanky right now.
Yeah, even with the last Whisper.
Able to stay in the fight. He's already used that passive on Hakuho, so he can't lock him down again. One will work on LirA for the time being.
Get to the turret!
And Impact has now completely held members of Envy here, so the rest of the team can get back from the base, and they can continue their Baron rush down the mid lane with more control.
That's ridiculous. The Baron-empowered recalls get them there fast enough. Jensen constantly Wing himself to get there just a little bit faster. And this is just a split fight. Hakuho, Ninja, Apollo all group up. They don't want to go past Impact. It's a 2-on-3 on the top side, and then a 3 on, I guess, minions on the bottom side.
Forced to flash into turret to escape.
It's like, it felt like they didn't realize that turret was still up. It felt like one of those moments where they're like, guys, I'm fighting them by their raptors. It's like, we can't get there.
And the teleport coming in from Impact really would have put Apollo, Ninja.
That's what I'm saying, right?
He has just right in line.
And if they have to walk through him then, and that's not something you could do, so they're playing it safe. it's just over-aggressive there from Seraph and LirA, who LirA was off to a really good start in this game. And now Seraph pretty decently far behind now, as Impact's just going to buy, I believe that's a Frozen Heart coming in next for him, and slow down the auto attacks from Apollo.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that'll sting for him as well. Ardent Sensor Rush from Hakuho, as he should. Great item to have on Caitlyn. Keep him healthy, the Warlords as well.
It's interesting because it's not something like a Redemption, it's just straight for that auto attack based item that's going to help Apollo heal him up a little bit too, and that extra damage. Now, the Baron buff is definitely allowing Cloud9 to take a lot of these things, like map control. As you look at the bottom side of the map, it's kind of back and forth there. Envy have a decent amount of control wards, but they're all in their own jungle. They're all defensive vision for the time being. And that Cloud Drake will go over to Cloud9 as they pick up their first of the game.
They crash top wave into the turret. Impact will do some janitorial duty and prune that wave. And like you said, first Drake going over to Cloud9.
And this is where you go, Cloud9, you know, they held off on the Envy early game, and Envy drafted a composition that it's not moving. Hold on.
Sliding around.
Yeah, still went to Apollo. Apollo still picked that one up. But this composition is very Apollo-centric. There was really no attention on that bottom lane. They got the turret by themselves. They got the top turret as well. And then it kind of just stalled out. That middle turret finally went down off of Apollo again, who has no kills, no assists, no deaths.
Oh no.
As well.
Is that the goal? Have they bred him to be this monster that you haven't seen yet? He's the, like you said, it's the focus on Apollo, yet he is the one who has seen the least of the fights. And that may be because they are getting him nice and fat to do the damage when the time comes. It's gonna almost have to be a perfect fight at this point. Things are getting scary for Envy as Cloud9 closes in on the second tier of outer turrets. Mid and top to go, and top, oh, they just got the ping, both of them.
Yep. Like you said, though, it is going to be one of those crazy fights, but it gets worse and worse because Impact, I think a Guardian Angel is in his future. There's even more armor for him, even more HP with the shield. So you're looking at this gigantic tank that is incredibly hard to take down, and your Caitlyn's going to have to auto-attack him down. She doesn't really have too many of those damaging abilities. He's a frontliner that you have to get through, and he's a beast right now.
1-0-4. A lot of times, the reason we see Nautilus on that ban list, because he can become so quickly unkillable for people on the team. If he can get out of his lane and start causing trouble for other people that were saying, hey, I got time to build armor pen and damage. And Nautilus wrecks games, and Impact is definitely in top die mode come this series.
Impact has definitely played very well today. Even in that previous game where he got player of the game on the Rumble, you see he goes right back to the Nautilus, and he's very comfortable. This is their first round pick over securing something like the Caitlyn. Allowed it to go over to Apollo, and allowed for the Caitlyn-Lulu duo to come out, which is sometimes considered a mistake, but up against Apollo and Hakuho, it has seemed to be something that Cloud9 couldn't dig themselves out of hole-wise, because you'll lose 2 turrets to it, but apparently that's kind of the price, and they're okay with it after. And look at that, already. Jensen used the shockwave, so Apollo got the wild growth.
And a flash. Going to be a little bit more dangerous. Smite down goes over to LirA. And Envy. They do have Seraph coming in through the mid lane, trying to get wards on that other side of the map. Doesn't look like he's trying to get much more than vision if Cloud9 were to be exiting, and they might be able to find a follow-up kill as they are leaving the base, leaving the jungle. Here comes LirA back out of the base. So the teams can now start to gather together. They feel comfortable in mid. Looks like they'll start to pressure that for now.
So I'm looking at Jensen's build. He has 2 spell penetration items, and he has the Void Staff. He does true damage to Hakuho. He does true damage to Apollo. He's very close to doing true damage to Ninja as well.
With MR.
He's got 44 magic penetration, but then he also has 35% magic penetration. And the percentage comes through first, and then the flat will afterwards but Apollo only has 35 to his name in the first place, whereas Hakuho has 30, so just those 2 items means true damage comes through.
39 right there. Oh, quite close. So, ultimate coming out. True Shot Barrage isn't really one that would make Cloud9 turn away. Someone forgot to hit the turret. But it won't be too long before they can get the next shot on.
Baron's coming up too, so Cloud9 just taking over the map. Envy kind of paralyzed, it seems. This is the same problem. Like, even before this, when they were in an advantageous position, a bit paralyzed, afraid to pull the trigger, something is missing.
Trying to find an in. They keep going at least onto Jensen. They did try last time with LirA and Seraph. It's quickly slowed down. They have to find that fight where it doesn't separate the team by 1,000 units. Going over walls, because that was an instant tunnel over the wall. There is a better choice for that for Envy.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. It was a bold call, and one that definitely didn't pay off there. Nice dodge from Ninja.
Dodge into the hit, Petrifying Gaze finally lands, doesn't give him enough time. Seraph comes in with the Stand United, Contractz goes down. What's the quick focus as they have to look for him as he comes back up? Redemption.
Great trap
Nicely
line.
on top of it, and the trap line for Apollo doesn't allow him to fire from the backside. He's got impact in his face, and he gets there immediately. Hako's on the side of Seraph instead of with the side of Apollo. They go down. Only LirA and Seraph are left alive. Actually, sorry, Hakuho as well.
Yeah, they got rid of the damage dealers. That's what matters. Impact, all right. Are we counting the tower shots this time? I think we're at 4 or 5 already. Doesn't matter.
Well, it looks like Cloud9, knowing how far they are ahead in this game,
might keep going.
put the pressure down mid lane. They got 29 seconds on both Ninja and Apollo. Quite a bit of the damage, if not all of the damage we're going to be seeing here coming out of Envy. LirA and Seraph. Sneaky tries to get stopped, so they get the auto attacks off the turret. Impact stays in the front so the team can keep firing across his shoulder and behind him to the members of Envy. It looks like they'll pull back for now smartly. And a nice dredge line to get themselves to safety.
Yep. Elder Dragon up, Baron up, Ninja and Apollo both coming back. LirA gonna Void Rush to the left side here. And so he sees that they aren't going towards the Baron. They're gonna chase them off.
Stop the backs.
So this is gonna be really interesting though, because low HP, low mana for a lot of the members here for Cloud9. This might be a quick Baron. Because Jensen would have to run, Sneaky would have to run. They'd have to start it now if they want to do it. They gotta go. It's the desperation call. TP from the back from Impact. He's gonna try to get in there and cause havoc. Can't Contractz steal.
Very early Sonic Wave. He's gonna have to take it in before it's even low. Now he's gonna have to get a safeguard in. It does go over to Envy as they start the Baron. And now C9 looking for the fight. Locked down onto LirA, but the back line is in a great spot over the wall where they just want Impact to mess with Envy, so C9 can head for the base, or Elder.
They're going for Elder. Sneaky decided, all right, I'm out of this fight. Let's go get red buff. So he picked up red buff. They're running all the way down here to go for the Elder Dragon. There's not enough time, really, for Envy to get back here fast enough. There's no Void Rush available for a few more seconds.
No tunnel down there for him to get to either. 5,000 health. It looks like they already pull off of this one to manage what will come next. Set some expectations for themselves. They are going to deal with an Elder Drake Cloud9.
For Envy, it's only a 2 buff, 1 counting the Elder Dragon itself and the Cloud Drake that they have, so it's the 90 true damage burn from Cloud9.
Right.
But the Baron buff will last a bit longer than it. This was really great from Ninja, and then watch Apollo just set up this trap line here. There's no way you're getting in over the wall, nothing like that. Puts him down top of Contractz, gives him another headshot there. And when Contractz comes out, another one. And then he has to take a whole bunch of headshots. And so Impact is taking residual damage this whole time. Not even a chip in his HP for the most part, and just gets blown up there, Apollo does, as you know, they continue the fight, and then Impact takes all those turret shots.
This becomes terrifying.
Dang.
Because Impact's presence on the map, sneaky damage, just makes Apollo not want to be in a fight.
Yeah,
He walked through almost the entire team to get to him, was like, hey, there you are.
Yeah, the sneaky damage, very high. And yeah, you could just walk through the fight. The tanks are doing a lot of work on Cloud9 side with Contractz and Impact soaking a lot of damage so that Jensen and Sneaky can really dish out theirs. Whereas Ninja and Apollo, not the same type of effect just yet. They don't have as much penetration in terms of their builds, but also I think that the Blade of the Ruined King for Sneaky, the percent HP, is gonna beefing that number up.
Well, amongst those that damage chart, Jensen and Sneaky had 4,000 themselves. There was about 3,000 damage altogether from the team of Envy. So just a few members of Cloud9 really able to power through what Envy is bringing to the table altogether. Mantra Shield, a quick bit of safety there as they didn't want to get too engaged on.
Yeah, this is kind of just the defense here from Envy. I actually like this. I think Cloud9 not playing as well as they could. They try to go for 5 people on the top side. It just gets a trap line, and then Seraph pushes that in, gets that turret, and now the wave is going to crash against that bottom inhibitor turret.
Yeah, 3,000 gold lead here. A lot of the map control is what plays in the favor of Cloud9, but they can keep running Cloud9 around. Might be able to get a few more pushes. That top turret is quite low if Seraph gets a chance to have a bit of time with it. And quite a bit of damage turret to this inhibitor turret. Wow, opens that right up.
There's a lot of damage. Yeah, it's less than half. It's at 845 HP right now. Baron buff and Elder are about to wear off. Elder will wear off first. It does right there. And the Baron has about 20 seconds left on it. And then we reset and we do it again, Riv.
I'm ready. It looks like Apollo's ready. You can almost see the wards on the map. Not even wards, the cupcakes down by that turret. That's going to happen at each one, making it quite hard for the engage. If nobody steps out of line for Envy, you're not going to get caught by that shockwave. Whoa. You may not give Impact the chance to engage. I don't know if he's really going to care what you have there, though. He is gigantic.
Yeah. Speaking of gigantic, they're respecting Jensen right now. And all that damage he deals. Ninja purchases an Abyssal Scepter, a Null Magic Mantle, and now a Spectre's Cowl. So a Banshee's Veil is coming out for him very shortly. Has 164 magic resistance now. Apollo Hakuho still at 35 and 55 respectively.
This becomes the decision. Mainly it's been Ninja. Hakuho has to figure out that wild growth mark. We do see that Apollo's having trouble doing damage, but then there's also a bunch of magic resistance. Those two have to stay together and somehow continuously be protected to keep this fight alive.
Yeah, but Impact has to die at some point. Yeah. That's you hope that you do enough damage.
That is another prerequisite.
Because you have to do enough damage and have enough mana as Cassiopeia to kill this Nautilus, have this Caitlyn help you out.
Kill him twice.
Kill him 2 times, it's true. Oh man, and even more coming out for Smoothie. Smoothie now has the Locket, the Redemption, the Mikhail's Crucible.
Yeah.
So he has a lot here to assist his team. The Mikhail's not up for Hakuho. The Sensor is there as well as the Redemption, but no Locket Shield either. So a bit delayed in his build due to the number of turrets that have gone down for Cloud9.
And that turned Banshee's Veil as Ninja got the rest of his golden. Dodge 1 spell for himself and look for shields from Hakuho. Cloud9 very, very patient. 1.5 minutes. They've waited longer. They're going to be going for Baron in a few here.
So one of the top teams looking at that playoff bye spot for Cloud9 against that team that's trying to get out of the relegation zone. And Envy, we were not expecting this to go to 3 games. Envy are really putting up a fight. And we say it a whole bunch that there's no real free team right now in North America. It's nothing that you go, okay, that's a gimme. We assume it because we're kind of conditioned that way to be like, oh yeah, they'll take this match because they're in the standings here, etc. But it just seems like this 2-0 was not something that was going to happen. Envy had other plans in mind. The Nidalee throwing them off with the fervor of battle.
Nope.
The Apollo compositions. It just seems like the meta shift is something that Envy are okay with trying out, even though you would typically consider this a solo lane focused team.
Kind of looking at the standings, if C9 were to drop these games, it puts them at 11-7. If CLG were to win all their games, it puts them at 11-7. So a little disparity there. C9 having, as we said before, Dig and P1. Both teams that have had a bit of a surge in their play. CLG will be trying to find their wins over Fly Immortals, or I should say Immortals and Envy.
Yeah, it comes down to the just the situation, get into playoffs, and then perform. Make sure your team is in top shape for that. Because you think back to Immortals, #1, and then nope, not in playoffs. Ends up losing out. So you have to be in the right place. And sometimes failures help you, but we'll see here. This is going to be started up right quick. All this damage here. LirA does get a ward in. He sees the HP. No Shen ultimate in just yet.
5,800 on the Baron. Doesn't look like LirA even wants to try to
That was
get
his
in.
tunnel.
Yeah. That makes it very difficult. It's going to have to be a flash in if he wants to get the distance. Shen goes in to try and give him that walk. The dissonance is completely denying any movement towards the inside of the Baron pit, and he keeps leaving the ball right out front.
Yeah, you got to watch
back. It's going to be a shockwave one of these times, but Envy has not grouped up enough for that. Good on them as they continue to jockey for Baron control.
Impact is backing, trying to get back to full HP full mana. May teleport back in.
Yeah.
There it is, the backline teleport. They already have the ward set up. He's going to try to flank here, and he is so tanky, it'll take them forever to kill him.
5v1, Impact goes into the fight. The GA, it's got to happen twice. We said it has to. Hakuho only has LirA there. Apollo's in his face, gives him the wild growth right away as Resolve goes on, coming in from Smoothie.
Sneaky.
And now they get the shots in. Apollo on the back line, almost drops Smoothie. Sneaky's there, hurt, doing what he can as he gets the shield as well. They get themselves out with a sliver. Cloud9 limping away as they bit off more than they could chew.
Oh man, that was a lot more damage than I thought. Everybody just focusing in onto Impact. They get his Guardian Angel. Now they're going to try to go for this Baron here. Contractz, super low, has the GA. Teleport up for Seraph.
They're
going to pull off because they're afraid of Jensen. They're afraid of that shockwave because that shockwave could obliterate the team.
It's good to know. Has not been used. Obviously, this late in the game, it's something you're going to keep an eye on, but the Chaos can easily make you step out of position and be the one that gets hit by that shockwave.
Yep, Void Rush and the teleport. Whoa, Void Rush for the flank? LirA.
Arcane shift here from Sneaky once he realizes he's in real danger. Gets the shield
Flash
as well.
after.
LirA's in. Look at the shield as he goes. Down to about 50% HP as Sneaky follows in. No mana for him. It's going to be the auto attacks. The last bit of mana is a true shot barrage. Can it save Impact? He gets out with a sliver of health. Another shield to come in. And they do save their tank. It looks like Envy goes right back to the Baron, and they are starting to put their foot down, pressuring C9 back into the fight.
Yeah, it was a super good miasma in that previous fight from Ninja, but right now Jensen has Shockwave, Contractz has Smite. Here's the moment.
They got it! It's gonna be Contractz taking it, gets himself out with a safeguard. Envy is left wondering, what is the fight for? Contractz is gonna go down. C9 looks to the waves, looks to what else they can set up. And Envy's going to look to stop those as they come in.
The Shockwave lined up there with the entrance of Contractz. The Smite comes through. He picks it up. He saves the game for them as it was falling into the hands of Envy. That star rookie, what were they calling him? The super rookie? He's doing quite well for himself. Lands onto Ninja. That's the flyby. It's at 2,000, and it goes down from 2,000 to 500 there via a Shockwave and a W from Jensen. So the Orianna did enough damage to get it in Smite range, and LirA was not expecting that.
There we say, it feels better as the guy coming in. There was a lot of pressure on LirA there, especially with the team trying to come back in. Hopefully they still keep their head in the game. They were making great moves before the Baron, and there's still the option to get a few of those in as they were pushing Cloud9 back. We're coming back up for an Elder. 10 seconds. LirA has that GA. We're waiting for Impact still to come back up.
You just heard that sound, that clink. That's Impact using the Knight's Vow onto Sneaky, so he's going to be taking a portion of Sneaky's damage, and Sneaky will be healing Impact for a portion of the damage that he deals.
I love the crown. I almost wish the crown would stay on your head.
Yeah.
When you activate Knight's Vow, it puts a crown on the person's head. Could be there. Riot, please.
King me.
Stay. King me. Let's see who will get the crown of the Elder Drake.
Well, Jensen is doing the blue buff right now, picks it up from the other side of the map.
Got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Like, hang on, guys. Let me do this first.
It's exactly what he needs for this fight, though.
A little time to play with. Why not grab up more resources that will give you the advantage? A bottom side attempt from Envy.
Now the trap line, a little shallow. LirA looking for a steal there. Contractz still on the dragon.
Shots on an Impact. 4,700. It's not even really hurting Contractz, so he can hang out. Elder Drake's gonna go back up. I don't know if the fight's gonna be for this just now.
Go, go, go. Burst it down, and they're gonna try.
Focus on another Smite fight coming back in. There he gets kicked out. He's gonna be all right and within range. 1,200. The Smite goes over to Contractz and he keeps it going. Dredgeline just misses as they try to pull Ninja back into the fight. LirA tunneled over the wall to get the team to safety, and now they need to get to the base before C9 can push it. Looks like top side will be where they're going.
Yeah, and they have Baron buff for a little bit longer, and now they have that Elder Dragon. Man, Contractz 2 for 2 on those smite steals so far. I said so far, but I mean, good God. If it goes to another one, this is going to be a long, drawn-out game. That's a middle open inhibitor right now. That's where Cloud9 are going to look. They're going to push down mid and try to get this, open up the game more.
So interesting the way those smites play out. We heard Trashy from EU talking about if it's been a season where you've missed a few, it's so much more in your head that you have to hit it. The things that these guys think about as they go into these objective competitions are absolutely crazy. We're just seeing the fight, millions of thoughts going through their head. 50 minutes into this one, they're only getting longer. Is Envy able to draw out this game versus Cloud9 and actually finding ways to put some damage in their armor and ways to get inhibitor turrets down? This game is looking like Cloud9's, but still very much open.
Yeah, Impact, he's going to go clear out that bottom wave on the inhibitor, make sure that nothing else goes down there because there's a gigantic wave, and he'll shove it out, use some of that time. The Baron buff is now gone. Elder Dragon is a little over half in terms of duration. So then it'll be another reset with that middle inhib down, so we're in for the long haul here, guys. I'm glad someone's with me. Just one guy.
Get the TriCast going. Where is he?
Yeah, wait. Get down here.
6K. Is it enough for C9 to push through? It almost looks like completely even fights here as we're coming up on some full inventories. Hopefully that is not because they have too many control wards. At this point, you need everything you can get stats-wise. Summoner spells look up to be up for Envy, as well as on the side of Cloud9.
Yeah, and as you hit those 6 items, Cassiopeia gets to have a little bit more of that passive advantage because she gets to actually have 6 items, no boots.
Hey.
Got to get the meme in there somehow. But yeah, Cassiopeia doesn't have to buy boots because her passive will give her movement speed. So she gets to have that extra slot and basically have more AP than every other champion. Aside from like Veigar or something.
What about Lissandra? She doesn't have feet. With boots.
Put boots on that giant icicle. How about Camille?
That's
boots on her knives.
You just need new shoes every game.
That's true. You actually do have to buy new shoes every game.
Jensen with blue. Feels so good late game to have an Orianna with blue. You basically dance around. It feels like you're dancing around the fight because you speed up, you protect, and you continue to deliver damage from a different position each time. And look to do that as the team comes in mid lane here. Him, Contractz, and Impact as the duo team of Sneaky Smoothie towards the top side.
It's a great way to put it with all that CDR and mana regen that you're dancing around the fight. Orianna, design, a ballerina. It all makes sense. Graceful ball control. And we'll see, because he's looking for those shockwaves, but he wants to make it a worth one. He wants to make it really impactful. And so what Cloud9 are doing now is they're trying to get an angle on the fight from the bottom side, avoid the trap line, so Contractz can at least threaten from the right side. Because where are you going to put the traps now, Apollo? You can't hold everything, and now somebody has to go clear this minion wave. Contractz will threaten from this side. Jensen as well.
Yeah. Only has so much batter for the cupcakes. You always have to make more. It doesn't look like C9 wants him either. A little rude. Impact Elite one. Nice guy, Impact.
Yep. But
it doesn't look like they even care about it. He's not taking too much damage from Apollo here, who's almost full build. And they're able to get chip damage on the turret each time they enter, which means that it's not long for this world.
I like that he went for the Blade of the Ruined King as his last item there so that he has that % HP damage to Impact. And also a little bit more lifesteal. He does have the Warlords, but this will help him out. And 20 seconds on Baron. So even if this siege doesn't work out for Cloud9, Baron in their future, Baron vision control in their hands as well. So this may be where Envy have to face check or walk up, and that's where it's dangerous because it'll be gone in an instant. If you hesitate to check it, might just be another Baron for Cloud9.
This is where it's just the advantage of position. It's like you know exactly what the other team is doing, yet position causes you to not be able to stop it. We'll see how brute forcing it works for Envy here as they head towards Baron.
They don't have Ninja. Ninja's off on the left side. Now he's running around.
6,000 health on Baron. We're looking at about 1,000 smite now from each of the junglers once it gets down.
Apollo flashed away there, so Apollo does not have his flash. Oh, are they going for the top wave? They're going for the top wave.
Should be able to keep Apollo at range here. He'll get back, try to set up the trap line, but they'll have enough damage easily here. Impact might even try to walk inside on this one.
It's a great point. He had to set up the trap line at the Baron, and now he doesn't have one for here, so they get to walk up, deal damage to it. Might be getting out.
Seraph goes in. Contract's actually very low. Would probably almost want to be the focus here as he dives in. A big hit on the shockwave coming in from Jensen. Places the ball towards the back line. Seraph and LirA trying to do what they can, but really only receiving the damage as the kite back from Cloud9 leaves just about every member at full HP. Sneaky was the focus. Contractz didn't even go down, besides that GA.
And Cloud9, they're going to do it. They're going to win a series where they lost the first game for the first time in the split. They're going to try to take down Envy.
It looked a little rough from what we've really seen from Cloud9 coming into the end of the split here. Definitely going to have to shore things up as they fire for a top position in the NALCS, but the victory will come here in Week 8. As we get to a Game 3, they persevere, and Cloud9 takes down the Nexus and takes down Envy.
It takes them 54 minutes and 42 seconds to take down the 10th place team, but they do it. They stop their losing streak, and Cloud9 stays still ahead of Phoenix 1 in the standings.
And this actually becomes, I'd say, a decent game for Cloud9 to look at this late in the split when they really need to shore up a few of these errors and instances where they're falling behind in the game. This is one they can look at. Going against Envy in Game 1, obviously a little outplayed by LirA on that Nidalee, but he also then continued the snowball, something Cloud9 can look to stop. Obviously, easy as warding, but it's very hard when you're playing against somebody like LirA. So, like little things, as I'm saying, Cloud9 has a chance to look at. With the victory, though, still got to feel good.
Yeah, it's got to feel better for them. That is the 10th place team, though, and so nobody's quite elated, but I will say sighs of relief there.
I think that's the correct way to put it.
Contractz in 2 situations, outsmites on the Elder, outsmites on the Baron as he's flying through. And I gotta say, that last fight was pretty much Contractz with the setup, the kill coming through onto Apollo. That's what mattered.
Yeah, good overall team call to break the trap line, head to Baron, say, haha, just kidding, back to the turret, and make it happen.
And that's a great way. That's a macro play to outplay a trap line from a Caitlyn. Exactly what you need to do, but you need to do it fast because Caitlyn, at that max rank of traps, she stores 5 and it takes 15 seconds to stack a trap. So it takes you about a minute, a little bit more than that, to get a full charge of traps back.
And we'll have that last fight for you in just a second, but I do want to pull back to, was it imperative for Envy to go to that Baron? They had a bit of a pressure on Cloud9. It looked like a better instance to go for Baron, but was that unnecessary since they were already kind of pushing? They had Seraph open that bottom lane.
I feel like it was necessary for them to go there. It's not like one of those things where, you outplayed yourself, you shouldn't have been there. It's kind of in a move in chess when they already outpiece you, what are you going to do? There isn't really a win scenario. They're going to be like, okay, well, I have to do this to protect this, etc. So you take the best option. You might lose something for it, but your opponent gets other options because they're already ahead.
Absolutely, and we'll bring up that last fight to just see how Cloud9 kind of played around the objective that they wanted, then came back.
So big context here. Impact had thrown the hook at the Baron, got the flash from Apollo. Contractz will be able to get in on Apollo, but watch how he does it, because that's all he has to do is get to Apollo. Hits Ninja, takes the Q, goes back, flash kick Apollo. That's all he needs. That area right there. Shields come out, everything comes out, even the Shen ultimate onto Apollo to try and save him. But it is going to be all of that damage coming through from Jensen, who did more than 1,000 damage per minute in this game as that Orianna. But I think that Contractz, that fight, that was really what mattered. And that's kind of like the Lee Sin dream, or kind of, I don't know if I wouldn't call it the dream. The Lee Sin dream is like, you kill everybody, but the late game professional Lee Sin dream is you get to jump in and you get that kickback on the primary carry, your team kills him, and you're just like, I don't care if I die now. It's all good. I did my job.
And honestly, it's a play of confidence because it's a reason we kind of see Lee Sin not picked up by a lot of junglers, because during that late game, that's what you have to do to really make an impact, or you're just going to slow and connect to people and then be lost out in the fight if you can't put them back into your team.
Yeah, and that's kind of like another layer here too is that it's a rookie doing that. It's Contractz.
Exactly.
He outsmited twice. He went for the kickback when they needed him to do so. So the team is definitely empowering him to make these plays, but also definitely a very confident rookie, and I'm glad that we're seeing him on the LCS stage and seeing what he's made of in these high-pressure situations. Early game may have not been his best showing, but definitely he closed out the late.
All right, so for a first-hand account, let's regroup with Kobe, who's standing by with Cloud9's bot lane carry.